Yo, yo. I'm not muted. Hey, all right. Hi, guys. Happy New Year. Hey, there's some good peeps in here. Welcome to another episode of WIP Wednesday Live. My name is Matt. As per usual, I have a crazy setup today. I've got like shit here, shit over here. I got shit over here. And my internet is being lame as hell. Hang on one second. I'm just noticing one of my other computers here is not cooperating. Yeah. Kick out the Wi-Fi and just the plug in here. Thank you guys for being here. This is my weekly live stream where I customize and talk to friends and other people in the community and get to chat with all of you wonderful people in the chat every week. So I do this every Wednesday. If you haven't already, please hit that like. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. If you're watching on the replay, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. A like goes a long way and it costs you nothing. So if you don't mind, it's appreciated. Last week was chill, super chill. I was joined by Elvin from Astonishing News and Reviews. They just had their 100th episode of the podcast on Monday. They gave away fucking crazy prizes, like so crazy. And it was a lot of fun. We only chatted for a few minutes. I am going to have him back sometime in the relatively near future, along with Dee, his partner in crime over at A&R. So yeah, I'm still kind of ironing out the schedule for the next couple months, but I have a bunch of stuff that I'm really excited for. I'm going to kind of add a little bit more like guests more regularly, probably every couple weeks rather than like once a month. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. While I was working last week, I was working on my Age of Apocalypse Banshee. Nothing super crazy. I also made a couple molds of some hats, which ultimately were too big for what I needed. So I'm back to square one on that. But yeah, it was all right. I'm wrapping up a few projects right now. As you can see, my airbrush booth is in the back. I started painting Warbird last night. She's looking really good. I posted a picture on Instagram today of where she was at a couple days ago, but she's looking real good. I'm real happy with how she looks. So yeah, it's turning out great. So priming is done. Tonight I am going to, afterwards, not on the stream, but tonight later, I'm going to be painting her. I'm going to start with the blacks tonight, I think, because there's quite a bit. And yeah, I got an oh, look at that. Marcus says the audio's good. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing some black paint tonight, and then I'll slowly work through the rest of it. But I'm hoping to have her done in the next couple weeks. I'm also working on a commission that I can't share yet. I'm really hopeful that I can share it mid-February, but there's a chance I won't be able to share it until April or May, which sucks. But I'm really excited to share it because I think the community is going to fucking love it. So I'm pretty pumped. And it's such a cool thing that happened. I can't wait to talk about it, but I can't right now. This week, I'm trying something a little bit different. I've been listening to a lot of The Figure Booth. For any of you guys don't know, that is a action figure podcast YouTube channel. They put out a weekly show, and they usually have like a topic. So usually they'll do like, you know, what one of my favorites is like the what is your why, where it's like, why do you collect, you know, and they're really good at I guess I don't want to say encouraging me, but like I don't know, I feel like I'm on the same vibe as them a lot of the times. And yeah, I wanted to do something kind of similar to what they do. I do have to say that the amount of work that I put into this show was like quadruple what I normally put in. So I would say probably don't expect these types of shows very regularly. Once I have an idea that I feel like I can run with and actually give you guys something that's worth listening to, I'll do them. But I don't know how those guys do that week after week because yeah, I spent the better part of Sunday and all of Monday night trying to piece this together, and I still don't even know if it's really that interesting. So I guess we'll see what happens. But basically, this came about. But let me say hi to everyone in the chat first, because there's a few of you guys here. So I got Jordan from Canada. Woo, 2023, yeah. He says, don't forget your thumbs up. He said he always forgets, but he didn't. First stream of the year, Marcus Yee. What's up, my friend? How are you? And Peggy Zero Dad, who is really the reason why I'm doing this tonight. Good morning, Canada. Hey, dude, what's going on? You're up very early. Thank you for being here. Eight and Skate, Happy New Year, man. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it. Yeah, Marcus says audio is good, video quality is pretty clear. Yeah, I keep noticing my Wi-Fi thing showing up a little bit, so I'm sure it'll be dodgy here and there, but hopefully it won't be too bad for you guys. Jordan from Canada said Warbird's really coming along nicely. Yes, thank you. I posted a picture of her today, and I'm really, really happy with how it looks. So Southtown Paint Apps, happy 2023, my brother. Thank you, man. Thank you for joining us as per usual. Neil is here. Neil Bertram. Sharing is caring. No secrets. Yeah. So I had a couple of you guys reach out to me and say like, oh, I think I might be able to learn something from this, which makes me super happy. So I love that. Eight and Skate says Nate and Prime are great. Yeah, so those are the figure booth guys. I love them so much. They're really good dudes, and I love what they have to talk about, and I love what they bring to the table. And I think it's extremely unique versus what else is out there. So no anything to anybody else. Like I love my Toy Migos, I love my coin around. But there's something about them that their delivery, their chemistry, I don't know. But this is, yeah. Once I talked to Gary, Peggy Zero Dad, this weekend, he was asking me some questions. So basically, let me run down. I made some notes, so you might see me kind of glancing over at my notes here. So basically what happened was last year, Gary and I chat very regularly. And last year he was asking me about how to approach a couple customs. And then he was like, I really want to make a face-off Red Skull based off of his face-off look from the Toy Biz figures. So long story short, he eventually sent me a bunch of parts that he had kind of like pieced together for this figure. And at first I was just like, I don't have time for this. I'm just going to stick it in a drawer somewhere. I'll deal with it later. And then last week I reached out to him. I said, all right, let's talk about this Red Skull. I'm kind of planning for 2023. I've been taking on commissions the last couple weeks. What do you have for me? Like, what's the plan? Am I just sculpting some stuff for you? Am I making a full commission for you? Like, what's the plan here? This guy's smart. He snuck right in there and he just cut the line. That's just okay. But I mean, the thing is you'll find out here tonight as I kind of go over everything here. I keep a to-do list. I keep it pretty tight. I mean, it's huge, but my top 10 are really where my focus are. I kind of said to him, like, look, I don't really know where you're going to ultimately land, but let me piece it together and see how excited I get about it. And we can kind of go from there. Because he was asking me about like, a ballpark when he might, I might be able to do it or something for him. And I kind of said, look, it really depends on like my interest in the figure. Like if it's something I really don't want to do, it's hard for me to really get started. Not hard, but it just like, it'll tend to keep kind of slipping down the list. I have to be into what I'm working on. You know what I mean? So I kind of thought I would go over with you guys kind of like my to-do list, kind of go over some of my new customs that I'll be doing this year, and then walking you guys through kind of how I price things out. I'm not necessarily sure that I'll be telling everyone what I charge. Not that I think I charge a lot. I think comparatively, I undercharge, I think. I know there's a lot of people out there who do amazing work, but charge significantly more than I do. But yeah, I thought it would be a cool idea for you guys to see how I kind of approach that sort of thing, especially as 2023 is a year I'd like to get more commissions done. So let's just kind of dive into it. I think it would be cool. So I even gave this like a cool like figure booth name because they have cool names for all their stuff. So I called it Commissions by Matchu, the Process. Dun dun. It's not a very creative name. Originally, I just said the commission process, and I was like, that's just what I'm doing. It's nothing. So, yeah. This is my cool shirt for tonight. I got this for Christmas. Gargoyles. Very fun. Okay. So as we move along, guys, please feel free to ask any questions you have. It's fucking hot. Turn this window open a bit. Unfortunately, with all the lights going, and there's a light, there's a light, there's a light, there's some lights, there's a light. Computer, screen, camera, phone, all of it. It's hot. If you guys have any questions throughout the process, please just ask. If it's not relevant to the conversation at that time, I might just hold off on it and get to it when it is relevant. But I'm just going to go through the whole process. So so first to start, I've taken on a bunch of new commissions. Yeah, it's I think it's like gargoyles done in the Eight and Skates As Cool shirt. Was trying to figure out what was on it. I think it's like done in the style of like I can't remember. It's something. I'm not sure what it's from. It's like an homage to something else done gargoyle style. So the last few weeks I've taken on 1, 2, 3. I want to say like 3 commissions and a new a new swap figure. So for anybody who doesn't know, I do custom figure swaps. I do 2 secret swaps a year. I do one, they're both for legendary secret swap. I do summer swap and I do secret Santa. Those will both be on the list for this tonight or this year as well. I usually do figure swaps with friends, with fellow customizers, just so I can have art from my friends in my collection. I have decided to scale back in 2023. Usually I do like 4 to 6 of them a year. 2 of them that I'm doing are leftovers that I didn't get to last year. So they're relatively early on the list, one of which you won't see on the list tonight. I did have to edit my to-do list, make a copy, and take a bunch of shit off because there are some stuff on there that I cannot share with you guys. But yeah, so you'll get like an edited version tonight. But aside from the 2 leftovers from last year, the only swap I'm going to do this year outside of the legendary secret swap is with my buddy New Collector. Seth and I have been doing them for 8 years now. I think this will be 8th year, and he's really the only one that, like, even if I completely stop doing them, he'll probably be the one constant that I'll continue to do them with. It's something we always do, and I treasure it. I know it sounds like so corny, but like I really like it, and I love Seth, and he's a really nice guy, and I love chatting to him about it. I love collaborating with him on it. So, So you'll see what I'm going to be doing for him this year. I'm very excited about his one this year. He's gave me a really fun list, so we're going to go over that. Let me see. So as I alluded to earlier, this all came from talking with Gary. And when we were discussing a price, I was trying to explain like how I price my figures. Generally speaking, my figures are priced based. I have like a standard price. This is the cheapest price I will go to. I guess I'll just say it because I don't really care and I don't think it's unfair. So my starting rate is $350 US. That is the lowest. So even if somebody was like, hey man, like, can you repaint this figure for me? It's just a repaint. The answer is $350. That's what my time costs. That being said, I charge more for alternative heads, alternative hands. I charge more if those alternative heads and hands require any additional details. Like if I'm having to sculpt a bunch of stuff or take fingers off hands, that all takes a lot of extra time, and I make sure I charge accordingly. I generally don't. I feel like I generally shortchange myself, but I don't know. I like to do what I can do, and when there's a project that's on the table, and so I'll use Arsenal as an example for any of you guys that remember that Arsenal character I made a couple years ago, or like a year and a bit ago. I did it for a guy who was on a budget. He said to me, "This is what I can pay you," and I said, "That's not enough." But this character is really, really cool, and I think it would be a fun character to make. So I ultimately said, yeah, I'll do it. Sure, that's no But yeah, I don't do that very often, but there are the odd times. Another one I did that for was for Justin, Resilient Customs. He had me do that Mandarin this year, the animated series Mandarin. And I did that one for what I call a very friend deal. I've never charged that little, but it was something I've always wanted to do. Neil says he charged me $15 and 30 feet picks for Warbird. What can I say? I'm a sucker. Jordan says, know what you're worth. Hell yeah, man. Fuck yeah. It's like a band shirt? No, it's not a band. It's from something else. I want to say it's like a movie or something, but Celltown Paynap says, yeah, unfortunately, I'm dumbfounded when I quote a price for my commissions that a customer thinks is expensive, and then I see them complain about Marvel Legends price, yet they still buy them. Yeah, I mean, look, I've had this conversation so many times, right? So I give a price, and people say, wow, that's a lot of money. This doesn't happen often. To be honest, more often than not, I give my price, and people say, cool, sign me up. But I've had people who have said to me, like, I wouldn't spend that much money on a figure, to which I reply, I wouldn't either. Like, there's people who will, and there's people that won't. Even if I wasn't a customizer, I probably wouldn't pay that much for a single figure. I don't think I would. I don't know if I see that much value in it, but to each their own, right? And I'm glad that people do, because it means that I can make a little bit of money on the side. But I was talking to my buddy Opticon Customs today. We were talking about those the Mezco turtles that dropped today. So if anybody didn't see those, they're fucking beautiful. And he's kind of like, I'm kind of turtled out, and like they're really expensive, and it's like they aren't really giving us anything we haven't gotten from NECA or from any of the other people who are doing turtles, which I agree with. But they're just so cool looking. It's the aesthetic of them that I really like that makes me go, ah. And those alternate heads and alternate hands, there's so many options, right? But there's an example to me where I look at a price and I'm like, that's going to cost me $600 Canadian. Like, I can't justify that. Even though in a normal situation, I would buy a $120 figure without questioning it. But just all at once, I don't, it's too much for me. So, great point, Neil. People who think it's too much don't understand the time it involves. Yeah, so to give you guys a ballpark idea of how long a figure takes, I probably do like, I don't know, 6 hours of work before I even start doing anything. So before I even start sculpting or put any paint on the figure, we're 6 hours in easy, right? So yeah, it does add up really quick. Time equals money. Very well said. Oh, that's great. And Gary says, I'm looking forward to having something you worked on in my collection. Yeah, we're going to get to that tonight. I'm pretty excited. I've been thinking about it all week and what I can do. I stopped myself from putting something together in advance because I'm like, I've been wanting to play. Once I kind of looked a bit closer at what I was making, I was like, oh yeah, this is going to be really fun. Let me see. Where did I leave off here? So when we're finished doing this, we're going to build a base figure, which will then kind of determine how much sculpt work I'm going to need to do. So I try my best to utilize existing sculpts where I can to make my life easier, and to not have to charge as much for my time. So where I really lose the most time is stuff that's like really extensive sculpting. Stuff, I mean, honestly, like Warbird is a pretty good example of that. It's layer on top of layer on top of layer. It's like I have to do it in pieces because like I can't not do it in pieces. I'll put my fingers in my work. I have to build something up in order to add more detail to it. So those are the kind of projects that I generally charge more for because they're time consuming. It's not a matter of like, even if it's just 20 minutes of sculpting, I can't do 3 days of 20 minutes of sculpting in one session. I have to spread it out over 3 days. It's just, there's no other choice. So those are the kind of figures that generally I charge more for. So for anybody out there who is looking to commission somebody, I can't speak for other customizers on how they commission things and how they price things out, but I can tell you that the more sculpt that will be involved in a figure, the more you are going to pay, because that is ultimately the biggest time suck, is sculpting. And to make it worse, there's a lot of times where in between each session of sculpting, you kind of have to sand as well. Like, it's just, in order to get it looking the way you need it to look, to be nice and clean, you just have to add that extra, step in there in order to really do it right. So those are the kind of things where, like, it builds up pretty quick. I wanted to bring you guys a couple things to consider if you guys ever decide to commission an artist to do. I'm sure this applies to probably like anything, whether it's a custom figure or a custom head sculpt or a drawing or a diorama or something, or a digital sculpt. When you're commissioning an artist, there's a few things that makes our lives easier. The first one is, be specific in what you're looking for. It's important to make sure that if you are going to pay a pretty penny for something, it's really important for us as the artists to know what you're looking for. That would include reference images, if possible. Like, if, for someone who says to me, hey, how much would it cost to do this? The first thing I say is, send me a picture of exactly what you want. Specifics are great. Scale. I only work in 6-inch scale, but like, how big do you want this guy to be? Are we talking Bucky Cap size? Are we talking Omega Red size? Are we talking Build-A-Figure size? Like, come prepared and know what you want before you go out and start looking, because there's nothing worse as a customizer when somebody says, hey, I want you to make me this. And then you start working on it. You show them the first piece of the first step. And then all of a sudden they're like, well, that's too small. So whenever you're going in to commission somebody, have reference art ready, have reference images ready, know how big you want it. If you have any ideas on like what type of body you want it built on, let them know. Is there a certain, there's nothing wrong with someone giving feedback on what they would like to see. Like, my next point is what not to do when commissioning an artist. And really, the biggest thing is, don't tell them how to do their job. That being said, at the beginning of this process, I'm not against anybody saying, this is what I want. I like it ideally built on something this size, or like around this size, because then at least I kind of know what they're expecting, and I don't have to waste time piecing something together for them where they're just like, in my mind, when I'm quoting them on something, I have an idea of what it's going to look like. And then I show them and they're like, oh, that's way too big. So now I'm having to go back to square one. So now at that point, I've already wasted some of my time. And now I'm having to go back. And if I had already quoted on that, then now I'm going to have another issue where I quoted using the stuff that in my mind I was going to build with. And now that you're telling me that it's not the right size or not the right parts that you want, I'm now having to go backwards, and I'm not getting anything extra for that, right? So I understand some of it comes with the territory, which I get. But yeah, really have a vision for what you're looking for. It's important. And to be honest with you, if you can be open with the artist who's doing the work for you, you're going to have a significantly better outcome in the end. Be straightforward, be open. Don't be afraid to say what's on your mind. That being said, another thing we don't really love doing is, don't jump to conclusions when you see a work in progress picture. Trust the process. We know what we're doing, and there's nothing more frustrating than sending a work in progress picture and someone says, oh yeah, that looks good, but there's no this on this arm, or the hair is not long enough, or something. You know what I mean? Like, generally speaking, when I give an update, I like to tell them what's left, so that way I don't have to have them worrying, thinking like, this doesn't look how I was envisioning it. Because until the sculpting process is done and there is one coat of paint on that thing, you don't really have a really good idea of what that looks like. So be mindful of what the information you're giving to your customizer before you go into it. When it comes to pricing figures, I generally, I do it a little different. So I've had times in the past where I thought, this is going to be easy. I'll quote you this, and then It's not easy and it takes significantly more time. So what I usually do on that front is I charge a range. And by that, I mean, I'll say like $350 to $450, right? And then what I usually do is I will take 50% about 2 months before I start working on the figure. That's a very loose number. But basically, about 2 months out, I take 50% of the cost from the customer. I have a lot of customers who like this road that we do this because it allows them to not have to take like a $350 hit at once. So I think there are a lot of people who like that. And then the second half I will take at the end. And what I usually do is, if it's smooth sailing, so I usually quote like what I would like to get as my low end of the quote. And then I buffer it to give myself a little bit of wiggle room. So that way, if I hit a snag, I can still charge accordingly. And I don't have to feel like a dick being like, okay, I know I said 350, but like, you know, it's actually going to be like 420. So I try to be mindful of like the fact that I'm going to hit a couple snags. And again, like, you know, snags happen, especially when you're doing really in-depth builds or really like big kit bashes. Those kind of things happen. They're unavoidable. But yeah, so what I ultimately do at the end is, once I kind of realize how much time I put in, I'll ultimately say, all right, guys, this is what I've decided. You know, I'm going to charge you $420. That's kind of somewhere, you know, closer to the higher end of the spectrum. But, you know, it just covers me off. So that way, if there's anything that happens that is like unforeseen, I can still make sure that I'm at least semi compensated for it. So, and then, yeah, I for anybody who's commissioned me before, Neil, who's in the chat, this is his second figure with me. He knows, like, you know, I get pretty amped up about the work I'm doing. So I like to generally share. When I'm working, people usually get updates from me pretty consistently, every, like, you know, twice a week probably, or maybe a little less, but yeah, so I like to really keep that communication open. Another thing I don't like to do is I don't like to work on too many figures at once. And, you know, I try my best to stay in order. We're going to look at my to-do list in a couple minutes here. I'm just going to check the chat here really quick. Southtown Paint App says, that's true. My first 5 hours once is start a commission, is just prepping and planning it all out in my head. Yeah, man. Takes a lot of time. And like, I can't tell you how many times that like I just sit down at my desk with all my fodder on my desk and I just start piecing shit together. Like, I could waste a whole night doing that. Like, it's just it's part of the process, right? Neil says, do you do punch cards? Can my fifth one be free? You better send me a ton of feet pics if that's the case, dog. Okay, I'm gonna share with you guys. I'm gonna shut this camera off here before I don't want my camera to die on me, so we're gonna do this really quick. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen with you guys really fast. Share screen. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at that's my inbox, which, there we go. Oh, wait a second. I don't really like that. Let's get rid of this. How do we... Okay. Can I get rid of that? Is it possible to just get rid of that? No. Wonder if... Hang on, let's do this. There we go. Okay. Then I can just focus on this. Okay. So, as you can see, so generally speak, so you'll see this list is just like stupid long, right? Like, it's just, it goes and goes and goes. There's a couple things to consider in here. First things first, you know, things that are not on this list right now. I'm committed to doing a Secret Santa at the end of the year. Well, let's say, you know, September, August, September. And I'm committed to doing a secret summer swap as well, which is something I started doing again this year, actually, when we launched it on IG. So Draven runs that one, and I jumped back in because he does such a good job with running it. I was feeling pretty confident in doing it. We had a really good year this year. I'm excited to do it again, or last year, and I'm excited to do it again this year. So those two figures will eventually show up somewhere in this list as well. But at the moment, we're not quite there yet, right? So there's a couple figures that are kind of left over from last year, so I'll kind of walk you through it. So Warbird was one of those ones that I was really hoping would be finished by the time I got to 2023. I'm, a week or two shy, which that's fine. I'm pretty fortunate that Neil is patient and understands that rushing these kinds of things is not in anyone's favor. So he has been patient, and she will be finished in, I'm saying, under 2 weeks, but realistically probably a week. So after Warbird is AOA, Banshee, and Dazzler. Dazzler was kind of added more recently. Banshee's been on the list for quite a while, but as you all know, I've been kind of trying to ding off some AOA stuff to kind of fill in the gaps in my collection. And I decided to add Dazzler in because I kind of got focused on trying to fill in Storm's team. Once Morning Wolf made me that awesome Storm figure, that AOA Storm, I wanted to fill in her team. So her team is Dazzler, Banshee, Iceman, Exodus, and Quicksilver. So I figured I would do Banshee and Dazzler together because, very, very similar color schemes, as you can see. I'm going to probably go with the black base and blue shading kind of look, and then that bright gold and yellow. Also, both of them are relatively simple customs to do. And because all the prep work is done, I should be able to make pretty quick work of them, which is nice. The other commission that I said I can't talk about is actually going to take priority over Banshee and Dazzler because I only have 3 weeks to do it. So Peggy Zero Dad says never commissioned a figure before. Yeah, but you've commissioned your shields. For anybody who hasn't, go check out Peggy Zero Dad on Instagram. He is a mad Captain America collector, which is weird because he's Scottish. But he has a crazy display of prop life-size, 1-to-1 scale Captain America shields, and he just got I don't know the proper name for it. You'll tell me once I screw it up. He has the hologram shield. Somebody made him one, and it's all done with lights. It's fucking mind-blowing. It's bonkers. Definitely worth wandering over there just to see that. Plus, he also posts a lot of cute pictures of his dog. All of his dog. He has so many dogs. But yes, but go check it out. It's crazy, man. You won't regret it. It's so cool. Jordan from Canada says, I love toy IG, but customizer IG is just as awesome. Thanks for getting me into it, Matchu. Hey, man, I'm happy to shed light on all of the amazing talent that we have in this community. There's just an abundance of it. So, and he says, love that hair on Dazzler. Yeah, so I have some ideas for how I'm going to approach that. But I'm not quite there yet. And, my general rule of thumb is, even though I'm always thinking, I really try to keep my mind focused on my 3 projects that are at the top of the list. What I generally tend to find when I work on too many things is I use the other projects as a way to get out of doing the stuff I don't want to do. So if I hit a snag on something, or say I can't seem to get something right when I'm sculpting or when I'm painting, I usually am just fuck that, I'll do something different. And I find that that's a really big, especially for new customizers, I find a lot of people will start a jillion projects. So here's another good one. He might watch the replay. I assume he will. He usually does, I think. Token Customs. Really great customizer. And we were talking this morning, and he said he's going to start doing this thing on Instagram where he does, I think he said he was calling it the bin of shame or something. And he basically sent me a picture of this giant bin full of unfinished projects to do, and he's going to put one up every month or something like that, and have people vote to pick which one they want him to finish. So super cool idea. And but that's exactly what I'm talking about, is like it's so easy to go down that rabbit hole. Like, I'm not saying I don't have bags and bags and bags of shit ready to roll. Like, everything you're going to see on this list, 85% of it is the parts are already in my possession in a bag waiting for me. So it's not weird to have it all ready. I just don't like to start working until I'm ready to start working. There are some exceptions to the rules. I do some prep work. So remember how I was saying it takes about 6 hours before I can actually start working on something? Because I live in a condo, there are often times where I'll prep 3 or 4 figures, just so that way when the time comes and I'm ready to start working on it, I don't then have to find that 6 hours to go and prep those figures. When I have a couple of days off where my wife's gone and I kind of have the house to myself, I'll just sit down and I'll prep like over Christmas weekend. I was at my in-laws, which means I can work in the shed. They have this really nice workspace in the shed and it's isolated, so I'm not bothering anyone. I was up till 4 a.m. all weekend, just dremeling because I could. In my condo, I can't dremel after 10 p.m. So I kind of utilize that time while I have it and get stuff ready. So right now I have AOA Dazzler and Banshee both prepped. I also have obviously Warbird on the table. I have Brainiac 5 also prepped. As you can see here, I think I posted a couple weeks ago, I am doing another version of Brainiac 5 for Jesse Rath. This isn't a commission. This is just because I was pretty unsatisfied with the one I did for him the last time in this costume. So I wanted to do something better. And I figured while I was at that, I would also upgrade the previous custom I did of his first costume for him. So I got Craniac Studios to do the head sculpt for me, which for anybody who didn't see it, it looks fucking dynamite. So I had him print me a couple extra heads, and I'm going to fit it to the base body that I did for his other figure, and I'm going to upgrade all his heads. So the last figure in this costume I made for him, I'm going to give him a skin colored, like a Jesse Rath head, so he can just have his human form on that one. This one will get the green skin, and then the first one I did for him has like kind of a totally different look. His skin's more like turquoisey kind of blue. He's got these circle things on his head, and his hair is like, it reminds me of Karg, I think, from Masters of the Universe, the movie. It's like this big, weird, like, I don't know, but it's weird. This is not a placeholder. This is let me see if I can actually send this. Let me see here. Hang on. I think I've mentioned this on the show before, but I also have commissioned somebody to make me a head sculpt of myself, which is pretty fun. I don't know. Okay, I don't think I can airdrop while I'm live. So let me do this and I'll just show you guys. Hang on, let me go back to my thing. So I commissioned somebody to make a head of me. And I'm pretty stoked on it. I think it turned out really good. He's going to do a bunch of different expressions for me as well. So that way, and the idea is, so as you guys all know, I currently utilize, there we go. I currently utilize Deadpool as my kind of like, what's the word I'm looking for? As like my character, my avatar for my thumbnails. Eventually the plan is going to be to replace Deadpool with a figure of me. And my hopes is through the thumbnails, I'm going to kind of create a little story where I come in and kind of steal the thunder from Deadpool. And then we'll spend some time with Deadpool kind of hanging out in the background, trying to like get back at me I kind of have like this vision of how it's going to play out. If it actually works, that's a whole different story. The main reason why I'm actually making a custom of myself is because I'm going to be making some Blink-182 figures again this year, I hope, at the end of the year. And I really want to try doing water slide decals for tattoos. So as you guys know, I have a tattoo sleeve on one arm. I am going to be taking some HD pictures with my Sony ZV-1 and flattening those images out and then printing them onto water slide decal paper and then applying them to the figure. So I'm going to attempt to make a water slide decal tattoo sleeve is what I'm going to try to do, because I can get away with Tom from Blink. I mean, he's got one arm loaded with tats as well, but he also tends to wear a lot of long sleeve shirts, so I could get away with making Tom in a long sleeve shirt. But Travis is literally shirtless and sleeveless all the time. So I'm trying to find a way to, and I feel like Travis's tattoos, although I won't be able to get a flattened image of Travis's tattoos, most likely, I should be able to at least piece enough stuff together that I can make it look close enough. And that is honestly the main reason why I'm doing a Customs by Matchu figure, is because I want to use it as like my guinea pig to basically see if I can get that tattoo sleeve to actually be executed. I'm just gonna catch up in the chat here with you guys really quick. Nerf herder, what's up, dude? Said, imagine being organized. Ha. Marcus says, ooh. The proton, the photon shield. Yes. So for anybody who hasn't seen it, please go check it out. Trust me, it's worth it. It's so damn cool. It blew my mind away. Nike Boy is here. What up, man? Thanks for swinging by. How was work? Hopefully it wasn't too bad for you. Jordan from Canada. It's all these, see, it's all the non-Americans who are just big Cap fans. You guys are crazy. Marcus says, I have a bad habit of buying fodder to work on a custom. I barely use stuff that's already available. Okay, I think I did this when we did the kit bashing episode back last year in October, September, whenever it was. When we go through those fodder drawers later, you're going to see what I'm talking about. So what I usually do is when something new comes out and we get some new parts, I'll buy it. I put it in a bag with all its accessories. I leave it alone. I don't touch it, and I leave it. I have one drawer over here that is just like half of the drawer is like just figures in bags that are brand new. And like the reason I do that is because when I see something that might be useful, I pick up an extra one. And the reason I do is because in the worst case scenario, if I need it, I have it. And then I don't have to A, go hunting for it, and B, I don't have to pay a silly amount of money for it. But the other alternative is if I don't use it after a certain amount of time, I'll just sell it. And then it's still complete. Yeah, it's not in the box anymore. But by that point, it doesn't really matter. I still can get decent money for it. So actually, some of the stuff from my last sale was from that drawer. I kind of went through it and said, I've been sitting on this for 3 years. I haven't had anything to do with it. Let's sell that shit. And some things I buy for like the most mundane things, like those are cool hands. Let's buy that. Those are cool weapons. Let's buy that. So yeah, so it happens. But yeah, you'll see I have a shit ton of figures that are just basically new figures that are just sitting in a drawer ready to be torn apart. Jordan from Canada says, working in the shed during the holidays, respect the work ethic. Yeah, Betty, that's the way I roll. Hey, I gotta say that like customizing is really like, it's not a career for me, but I love it and it's my disconnect. And, I realistically customize or do something associated with customizing, whether it's this channel or something else, 28 or 29 days a month. Like I don't really miss very often. So can't Dremel after 10. You got a gas powered pull starter one or what? Nah, it's not. It's just loud. And like I live in a wood frame building. I live in a condo. So like I have neighbors to the left. I have neighbors to the right. I have neighbors underneath me. And, they don't even let us run our dishwashers after 10 p.m. So it's weird. But, they're not super sticklers, but, So that looks pretty nice. I'm assuming you're talking about that head sculpt. Yeah, it looks good. I like it. I made him go for the more less fat version of me. Over the last couple of years, I've put on some weight, but I'm hoping to rectify that at least a little bit in 2023. I went to the gym last night. It was not fun, but I did. Yeah, hair's the right color anyway. Yeah, there you go. Avatar. I like Avatar better. Mascot does work, but I like Avatar better. Looks good. One day I want the shaggy hair Matchu. Well, the good thing is he will send me the actual file. So the person who made that one, I think his name is Clayman or something like that. When I post it on IG, I will credit him. I think his name's Clayman on Instagram. But yeah, the nice thing is he'll give me the file. So Craniac Studios does not give you the file. That being said, his prices are very, very fair, and you can still buy them whenever you need them, but you don't get the file. So like if I wanted to alter it in any way, I'd have to go back to him, pay him to do that and alter it. He will not do anything that he cannot resell. Craniac Studios won't. So that's why I didn't go to him for my custom head, even though I would have if he would have done it for me. But I when I did that one for my buddy last year, the Bond Halo mix-up figure, I approached him and he's like, nah. So, which I get. He has to make money off of it, and it has to be worth it, especially at the price he charges. Like, it's very fair, so I get it. So, Aiden Skate says, I can't wait for the Blink figs. Yeah, man. They're going to be this year, end of the year, but they're going to be this year. Yeah, Travis is fucking loaded with tats, so. Peggy Zero Dad says, can't wait for all the Blink puns. Just you wait. Marcus says, that's me currently with one of the Shield Agent 2-pack heads. I've been trying to find a good one loose. Yeah. It's not always easy, right? Hey, Darth Gutierrez is here. What's up, man? Thanks for joining us. Tonight we're talking about commission process and my to-do list, and I'm going to show you guys all the commissions. They're all coming up the next couple ones here. I'm just trying to get through all these comments. Nike Boy said, work was busy tonight, but glad to be here. Thank you. Thank you for joining. Appreciate you, man. And Collector Express is here too. What's up, brother? How's it going? Thank you guys all for being here. Okay, back to our list. All right. So yeah, Customs by Matchu Custom is coming down the road. This is another new one that I've recently taken on. This one's a little bit different because I guess technically it's kind of a swap figure. So Prime from the figure booth sent me this picture of this Spider-Man head that he acquired. And he's like, I really want a battle damaged Spider-Man figure. So I reached out to him and said like, hey, I'd love to get an arcade from you. For anybody who doesn't know, Prime to the First makes arcades, Prime Arcades. I think it's primearcade.com or arcades.com or something. But he basically makes like 1/6 or 1/12 scale arcades, vending machines, that kind of stuff. So I told him like I would love to have like a Wolverine, Deadpool style something, like some sort of an arcade. I really don't have any ideas for it. I just left it with him and said, I'd love to get something that I can put on my Wolverine Deadpool shelf. Those are the kind of characters that could do something wacky and out there, and I could have them losing their temper on an arcade or whatever. So when we started talking about it, he said, how about we trade? And he said, you can make me a body for this battle damaged Spider-Man head that I have. So yeah, so I've actually never done a battle damaged figure before. It's something that I've always been interested in doing, with getting to play with the rips in the uniform and the different blood and the dirtying up the figure. So I immediately was like, fuck yeah, let's do this. That would be rad as hell. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to do this one. I have a bunch of ideas already, and he is also like me. He's very open to kind of whatever I have in mind. So I'm excited to bang this one out. It'll be probably sometime early spring. These are the two. This is one of the two leftovers that I have from swaps left over from last year. So this is Deathlocket. She is from Avengers Arena, and she will be made for my buddy Ethan Suplay Customs. He is he runs the Secret Santa with me. And he is making me an animated series Vulture, which I am super fucking stoked for. The other one that will fit in right after Deathlocket is a figure from my buddy Draven Arts. We have decided to keep that one a secret, which I'm super bummed about because it's probably the figure on this list that I am the most excited to do. I think I referenced it a few times last year. It just kept getting moved down the list because he just doesn't have time to do swaps right now. He's too busy. But I cannot wait. As soon as he sent me his list, which was like probably 11 months ago, I put the pieces together right away because I was like, this is going to be so fucking fun. So yeah, I can't wait. And then I'm going to shift into I actually have something I can show you guys with this one if you want. And actually, just to give you guys a little teaser for next week. Next week's episode, I'm going to keep it themed to a certain degree again. Next week's episode, I am going to do a bunch of WWE Ultimate figures. So I think I've already posted this once. This is my base body for my Ultimate Owen Hart figure. So next week, I'm not going to actually do too much craziness next week, but I'm going to like take off the paint on the wrists and the boots. It's got the Triple H on the boots. And I might start sculpting the singlet. I'm not sure. I'm going to sculpt the singlet on top. But I also have to work on, which are out of reach at the moment. I bought the pieces I needed to make a set of Ultimate Edition Hardy Boys, Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy, in their classic attire. So I'm going to be doing a Jeff Hardy and Matt Hardy. That'll be next week. Next Wednesday, I'm going to the whole episode will just be focused on wrestling figures. So hopefully you guys are cool with that. You'll still be able to learn even if you're not a big wrestling fan, because I'll be dismantling stuff. I'll be putting shit back together. I can kind of go over the dyeing process. I did a bunch of dyeing this week, or last week rather. I did these are the Hardy Boys. These came from the Ultimate Jeff Hardy, which he's wearing like all white. So I just dismantled everything. I dyed it because I wanted the pants to be black. They turned out really good. I didn't melt the crotch piece, which sucks. Hard plastic is less easy to work with when it comes to dyeing, and they tend to disfigure. But I did have a spare, so I was safe. Thank God. But yeah, so Owen Hart is one of the ones I'm really looking forward to working on. I ordered him his little Slammy awards that he has in his hands. I ordered some water slide decals that are already done of his costume, so I can just add them on, which I don't want to have to paint that shit, especially pink over black. It's not an easy thing to paint and have look clean. So yeah, that'll be a fun one to work on. And then we get into some of the commissions. So the first commission I took on for this year was this super fun Punisher 2099. This is for a fellow guest on the show, stand-up comedian Nick Dees. I've actually just recently started getting him into customizing. He's been itching to kind of get some stuff done, and we talked about it about a month, 2 months ago maybe, and he's like, I'm gonna make a Hulk 2099, and I'm like, dude, pump the fucking brakes. Like, that is not where you want to start, man. Like, you don't want to start with Hulk 2099. That's a detailed figure. Like, you're asking to be disappointed. Like, start easier. So he found a version of Dakin, I think it is, Wolverine's son, that he's been piecing together with some assistance from me. So and it looks great. And I said to him, I'm like, man, this will get your confidence up. You'll be able to put this together and you'll be proud of it. You'll be able to be happy with it, and then you'll be able to move on to something else. So I'm trying to help him find like easier customs to kind of start with, to kind of build up some momentum and some confidence before he tries to tackle something a little different. He has a history and he has a background in art. Like, he's a great artist. He's a really good drawer. So, some of this stuff might come relatively simple to him, but I figured it'd be smart for him to start easy. But once I kind of talked him down from the Hulk 2099 thing, he was like, dude, can I commission you to make me a Punisher 2099? And I was like, fuck yeah, dude, you definitely can. That would be so goddamn fun. The 2099 designs are just bonkers. They're crazy. And this one is no exception. He's wearing like this like open jacket, puffy jacket with a giant collar and spiked fucking bracers and big old boots, and I love this look. So I'm super stoked to get to work on this, and it was the first commission for this year that I took, so I'm really excited. I might actually try to piece this together as well. Tonight I'm going to piece together Red Skull, but I'm going to try to piece this together at the same time. So this is the figure that I'm going to be working on for New Collector. I have most of this piece together already. I shouldn't say that. I'm going to be making this Bane figure using an Outback Hulk from the Gamerverse, the gray one with the war paint on him. I like the size. He's big, but he's not like monstrous. He's not like insanely thick. And I think next to other Marvel Legends, he'll look big, but still relatively trim. So that uses the Smart Hulk movie, MCU Smart Hulk Build-A-Figure body. So I will have to clean up the ripped pants on the bottom and the knees and add some boots. but needless to say, I am extremely excited to try to tackle this one. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think you guys all know I've said this a million times. Anytime I get to do Marvel Legends style versions of DC, particularly Batman character villains, I'm all about that. And then we get to the next one. So right now, Face Off Red Skull is after Bane. And just to give you guys an idea, you know, realistically, like by the end of January, I should be able to have Warbird and the commission that I'm working on in secret that I can't say done, and probably be able to make a dent at least in Banshee or Dazzler. By the end of February, I should realistically be well into Brainiac and have Dazzler and Banshee done. Hopefully by end of March, I'll be able to have Customs by Matchu done, and again, making a good dent into that battle damage Spidey for Prime. You know, getting into April, you know, realistically, most of April will be like, I'll have to do secret or summer swap in there. So summer swap and Deathlock it. Owen, I think, is going to be super, super easy. I don't think I'll spend much time on him. He'll be quick. I'm guessing a couple weeks. So it should be relatively simple. So yeah, we're probably looking at like May or June before I start getting to my commission. So Punisher, Bane, and Red Skull will kind of be like summer projects. So, but the thing I really like about this Red Skull is there's a lot of cool different like textures. So you've got like the lines on the arms, but then you have like this like armored bit on the back here. Not particularly in love with these elbow pads. I don't really love doing elbow pads, nor do I love doing shoulder pads, but I'll suffice. I'll make it work. Yeah, but there's a lot of sculpting in this, but I think that there's some parts I could use that can make my life a little easier. So yeah, this is another commission I took the other day, and this one is not set in stone. I mean, I feel relatively confident that Gary and Nick are not going to like leave me high and dry on these, because I don't take money up front. I don't like to do that. I don't like to have money of people's and then something happens and I can't finish, you know? So I that's why I don't really take money until about 2 months out. So so this one could not actually come to fruition, but it makes the list when it intrigues me. So if it's something that I actually see myself wanting to do, I put it on the list. And then I kind of tell them, yeah, you're on the list, but like, who knows when I'll actually get to it, kind of thing. Right. So, yeah, so I'm gonna do this character called Blood Axe, I guess. I actually don't know who this is. It's a character, I think it's a Thor villain or hero. I don't know. He looks like a villain, but he's big. He's like 7'6" or something, or 7'4". So I'm not actually quite sure my approach on how I'm going to do this yet, but it just looks so cool. And I'm like, it's hard to say no. And like in a lot of the images, like this chain comes off of him and it attaches to his axe and he throws it. And I'm like, God, that's pretty cool. So yeah, so this is one that I'm very, very intrigued on. I'm really hopeful that this one comes through. There was another one on my list before that failed. I reached out and said, hey man, if you actually want it, like, I'm ready. And it was a Superior Iron Man, and I was so looking forward to it, and the person never messaged me back. So it's like, fuck. Sometimes you can get that vibe when you give a price and you kind of catch them off guard a little bit. When I gave this person with Blood Axe that quote, I kind of got that vibe. We weren't on the same page, but he's like, oh no, I should be able to make it work with some time, with some notice. But so we'll see. I'm really hopeful that this one comes through because I think this would be fun. Yes, that's right. Peggy Zero Dead. He says Blood Axe is an Eric Masterson 90s Thor villain. Great design. Yes. And the other one he actually wanted me to do was, there's another character like related to this too. He kind of looks like a red-haired Thor kind of. I can't remember his name right now, but this one appealed to me way more, so I went with this. Yes, I believe that is accurate. I believe that is what he told me as well. Collector Express says, if I remember correctly, the axe possesses the welder and transforms them into that. possesses the wielder and transforms him into that. Yes, I think that's accurate from what I was told from him. So. That's the one. Yep, Red Norvell. Yep. So that was the other one he asked me to do, but this one appealed to me more, so I'm going to stick with this one for now. Maybe I'll get to that one after. It wasn't like I didn't like it. This one really stood out to me. This is another one that I'm not 100% sure is going to pan out, but I'm intrigued. Rick's Action Figure Chop Shop did this for Summer Swap last year. And this is Spider-Man 2121. Not familiar with the character, but I think the design is pretty bonkers. It could be pretty fun to do those like Doc Ock style arms with the claws on the end there. That would be pretty fun. And it would probably pop like crazy. So yeah, I'm intrigued. I like these gauntlets on the arms. I quite like these boots. I think they would be really fun to work on. I'm intrigued. I think it's a really cool design. So this is for a friend, and this one keeps getting moved down the list because I don't think he really cares when I get to it. This is him as a superhero that he made. He's a basketball teacher at a school, and yeah, I think it's a really cool design. He's a graphic designer too, but yeah, I love the design, and he asked me if I could do it, and I said, yeah, eventually I'll do it for you. He'll get the friends discount because he is someone who I work with's son. So I have this on here again. It keeps getting moved around a bunch too, but I eventually want to make like a Bond style Deadpool. I also plan on making a Santa Claus Deadpool using those new Santa figures from Naughty or Nice, which I love. I don't think I showed this last week, but he is a ton of fun. So yeah, I'm gonna make a Deadpool out of I'm gonna buy the zombie one too. I decided, and I'll make Deadpool out of that. So, and then yeah, we get into some other just random stuff, which like basically from this point down, this whole lineup could just totally change. Like these are just characters I eventually want to do. So I'm not going to spend a ton of time here looking through all these because, some of these things probably won't come to fruition until 2024. I only do about 20 customs a year. So a lot of these are, they're kind of stuff I want to do, but I'm just not quite there yet. I'd love to fill in that AOA shelf a bit more with Jubilee, Nightcrawler, and Sinister. I got Blink. Like I said, I'm hopeful that Blink's going to be on the list for this year. I have literally all the parts I need to do it. I got the heads. I got the instruments. I got all the parts. I'm missing one hand, but it should be easy enough to find. So, yeah. And then we're going to get into Gen X. So, as you can see, it's pretty Gen X heavy. So then I get a little bit more Exodus, Age of Apocalypse, do a bit more of that. And then I am going to be doing an original X-Men team on the Amazing Fantasy figure Spider-Man body, but that probably won't be till next year because I don't think I'll be able to get this all done this year. So yeah, so that's kind of the list. So you can see I have quite a few commissions coming up that I'm pretty stoked about. And yeah, I'm really excited. They all bring something kind of different to the table. So I'm pumped to see how they all come together. Let's just check and see what everyone's saying here. We got Marcus. He said, I thought that was Gary Busey at the bottom when he saw Owen Hart. That's funny. Deathlocket for sure looks cool, and Owen Hart, yeah, man. Deathlocket should be fun. I have a great little recipe for her, so I think she's going to work out nice. Neil says, do you have someone that makes custom water decals? So for the Owen Hart one, I shouldn't say I found it. My buddy TXT Customs, who does a lot of wrestling customs, sent me to a page called Curb Stomp Customs or Curb Stomp Decals, and they just do wrestling decals. That's it. So tattoos, costume stuff. So yeah, so I ordered some from him. So yeah, so I haven't tried them yet. When it's just kind of one-off stuff, so like the tattoos, like my tattoo sleeve and stuff, I actually just print them myself. I bought some water decal paper, and I just print them on my printer, and then just to protect them, I clear coat them before I put them in the water. So it works, surprisingly. So, and actually I got some chemicals, Microset and Microsol, at the recommendation of Collector Express, and they worked fantastic on the last figure I used them on. So yeah, I'm excited to. I used them on Poison Ivy and it worked really well. So, oh man, Punisher 2099. Yeah, it should be dope. I'm looking forward to it. Jordan from Canada says Nick was a great guest. Good taste here. Yeah, I'm waiting for him to release his special finally so I can have him come back on. So, Peggy Zero Dad says I'm surprised the 2099 universe hasn't had official figures yet. They do any other old shit. Yeah, I'm surprised too. I think it'll come. Just a matter of time. Yeah, Bane. I know. I'm so excited. So, Collector Express, you need to explain this. That Outback Hulk has one arm bigger than the other? How do you mean by that? Like longer or like more muscular? Or that's going to bug me. I wish you wouldn't have said that. Thank you, Marcus. I'm pretty happy with this to-do list myself. Blood Axe is... Oh, yeah, we already talked about this. Oh, that's pretty cool. Peggy Zero Dad says, I made a Red Norval mini-mate as well as a few other Thor characters. That's cool. Southtown Paint App says, good to know about that character Blood Axe because I'm like, that's just Red Skull meets Tombstone. I thought Red Skull meets Ghost Rider, but yeah, that will work. Fun group of projects? Hells yeah. Yeah, I cannot wait. As soon as I got that figure in hand, I was like, this would work perfect for, and because the legs are the same, like, you know, pretty close to the color. Like I'm going to do like that, like bluish black with yellow. So it should work as they are. So yes, they made Spider-Man 2099, yes, but we haven't gotten any of the X-Men 2099. We haven't gotten Hulk, Punisher, Ghost Rider. Yeah, there's a lot. There's so many they could do. So Nick wants me to do Ghost Rider for him once I do Punisher. So hopefully he sticks with that. I hate you for saying that. One arm on Hulk is more muscular. After I saw that, I couldn't unsee it. I'll have to look at that and see. I'll pull it out when we get the camera up here. Okay, so let me set this camera back up over top, and then we're going to start building. Let me just do this really quick. I'm going to leave. I'm going to do this. USB. Nope. There we go. All right, now I just got to start my camera up again, and then add it in, add to stream. There we go. Had to mute it first. Okay, so got that ready. All right, that's good enough-ish. Oh, does the Baff arm have a different arm on it? That's weird. Marcus said, what do you think about using the yellow Power Ranger for classic X-Men for a baggy look? I do think it would work well, yeah. I do think it would work well. And you'd get that nice articulation still too, right? So I think, like, see, the thing is for me is like the color piece is not really that big of an issue for me because especially with yellow, like I know a lot of people hate painting yellow, but like I'm pretty fortunate. I've figured out a way that really works for me. And generally I feel like my yellows work well. So we're going to do this. I'm going to leave that up so that way you guys can see what I'm doing still. Oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be dope. I'd love to see them. Okay, I'm going to move over here. Actually, let's add this one to the stream as well. So this is my phone camera that has all of my shit in it. Let me just move all this stuff out of the way. So yeah, so you can see here. Can you see here? Let me see if I can solo this. This would probably make more sense. Yes. So this is all of my, these are all of my projects that are currently in the works. So you can see I've got Banshee here. I've got Dazzler. This is my Customs by Matchu. It's all, you know, basically ready to rock. This is my Brainiac. I have since I posted my picture last. I've since, let me put this down on the counter here and solo that. So yeah, so I've dyed this figure purple. And yeah, I have to still build up these arms because I shaved off the gauntlets and the boots. I have to redo those as well. But you can see the dye took to the white body differently depending on the type of plastic. So the arms and the legs are soft plastic. So you can see they got significantly darker, but the white on the hard plastic did not get that dark, which is fine. I'm fully intending on painting these anyways. And I'm not super concerned about it because I'm painting purple over it. This time I tried something a little different. I dyed them so early in advance because I wanted to see how they would react to the dye over time. I think I'd mentioned this before, but when I did my Venom figure, I dyed it and then I did the white logo on the chest. And on certain spots, you can see the black dye seeping through the white. So this time I dyed it and then I soaked him in soap water, like soapy water, for like a week in hopes that it would draw out some of that excess dye. So I'm really hoping that that will solve the problem, but I guess time will tell. So you can see there's that amazing head that Cranium Kicker or Craniac Studios did for me. It's really fucking nice, man. They nailed that shit. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one. Again, not everything is together in this fodder bin. This is another one. Like, so here's some other ones I got. This is my Mark Hoppus figure. Again, I still have to add the legs to it, but they don't fit quite yet. I got my head sculpt. I got these ones resized this time around because I thought last time they were just a bit too big. So same recipe as last time. I was pretty happy with how it looked. I just resized the head. And then I have his bass guitars in here. I'm going to do a couple different ones. I'm also going to do a stage dio. So we'll have like a little stage for them to rock out on with a flaming fuck sign in the back. Pretty excited about that. This is my Travis Barker in pieces currently. So right now he still has a shirt on. But if the water slides work out okay and I can get what I need, I'm going to do shirtless. But his sleeves are at least off. So originally I was going to do like a white Power Ranger with some Shang-Chi lower legs and just trim that off and shorten it. But I think I'm going to actually go with an Old Man Logan leg so that way I can get baggier pants, like baggier shorts. Travis generally wears pretty baggy clothes. So, and then there's my head sculpt for it. I know I've shared this with you guys before, but again, done by Craniac Studios. Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm doing with that one. I'm also going to order a drum set off eBay. I found a 112 scale drum set. So, and then my Tom figure, I ended up using some parts from. So I don't quite have that set up right now. I did, but I'm using the pieces for something else right now. So, but yeah, let's start building. So yeah, so that is all of my existing projects. These are all my existing projects that are like bagged up and ready to roll, just whenever I have time to start working on them. These are all of my, so this is a pretty deep drawer. These are all my figures that I've just purchased and like, I hope that one day I'll have a use for, and if not, then I'll just sell them. I got a Warpath, got a couple of Vulcans, got a Dormammu. I mean, there's so much. I'm not going to go through all of this shit, but you can see there's quite a lot. Yeah, I got all these amazing fantasy Spider-Mans. I got a Macho Man, got a Long Shots, Morbius. So yeah, and like I said, if I don't use them, then I'll just sell them eventually. Like at least they're all still complete and like basically brand new, right? So that's kind of my goal. And then this is where I kind of keep my torsos and shit like that. We're gonna pull some of this stuff out because for what am I doing here? For sorry, I'm just trying to pull up my reference images here. I got to do Punisher, and I have to do Red Skull. Let me grab the parts that Gary sent me for Red Skull. They're in here. Where are they? They're in here somewhere. I'm going to do this. So yeah, so this is what Gary sent me. Oh yes, he sent me this helmeted thing figure, this head that I was walking him through that he couldn't quite figure out. So I'm going to try to do that at the same time. Oh yeah, he sent me these Doom heads. We'll have to figure that out too, Gary. I'm not quite sure about those ones. But, yeah, so he sent me this. This is like an Infinity War Captain America, I think. It's got a little Red Skull head going on, which is cool. There's some parts here that I do think will work. I do actually, yeah, there's some stuff that should be able to work here pretty okay, I think. Those, got his belts. Oh, I just cut that off. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Gary, for future reference, instead of cutting that off, put it in some hot water, pop those legs off, and shimmy it down. That way you don't have to ruin it. So I think you cut it. Yeah. I mean, it's not a big deal. You just glue it back together. But, okay, so looking at the parts that he's given me so far. Cool. Collector expresses they tooled one new bigger arm just for Outback Hulk. Oh, so that character is meant to have one giant arm? That's not weird, eh? Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Oh, that might be easy enough to fix. So this is the base I've kind of pieced together for Bane so far. I'm probably going to swap the feet out for Thanos, MCU Thanos, so he has the boot feet. And then I'll just clean these up and sculpt, get rid of those rips and stuff. But yeah, this is the base I'm going to use for, which you can see, like it's, a good size, right? Comparatively. So, and then, yeah, I'm going to sculpt the whole face, the masked head, I think. I'm going to use this angry, expressive face. And yeah, so what Collector Express is talking about is this bicep is like much more, I'll say the word plump, I guess, maybe. It's definitely got some more girth to it than this one does. Once this war paint is off of it, I feel like it's going to be more noticeable. But it doesn't bug me quite that much yet. But what I can do just to make that better is I'll just sculpt that a bit more. Or if I can find the proper arm for it, I will. But yeah, this will be a cool Bane eventually. So, but yeah, pretty excited about that one. Or I can just swap the arms out. I do have some other Hulks that are similar size, like that old Age of Ultron Hulk with the angry head from the Hulkbuster 2-pack. Maybe I could use those. Marcus says Brainiac 5 looks really nice. Marcus said I might need to adapt your system. My room and work ethic for customs is horrible. It's good to have a system, man. That's all I'll say. Neil says, holy fucking fodder. Yeah, dude. That's why I always tell everybody I have a lot of stuff. Like, I generally don't have to go looking very far. Plump girth. Oh, geez. Watch your profanities. Yeah, okay. So I kind of had some. So in looking at this Red Skull figure, the Toy Biz one. So yeah, I do like this head. I think this head works. This neck should work. I'm not 100% sold on the torso and stuff, but some of the stuff that I was looking at that was appealing to me was. Let's just get rid of all of this. I don't want to lose anything in the shuffle here. Get those there. One of the things I was looking at was some parts. This is for both Punisher and Red Skull here. Where did that Paladin figure go? Here it is. So this Paladin figure's got some pieces that'll be pretty useful for me, and it might actually be useful for Red Skull as well. But I might end up just having to resculpt it anyway, so it might not matter. But these arms with these cuffs on the bottom work really well for this Punisher 2099. So you see the gauntlets, they're like lined. They do have spikes, but I can just add the spikes. It's not a big deal. So yeah, so I'll probably steal these lower arms, maybe just the whole arm, to be honest, from him. So yeah, we'll keep that out for now. Those knee pads are the other thing I quite like too. I thought those would work well for Red Skull. But now that I'm looking at this a bit closer, I see that it's kind of already has like that diamond shape on the side of the leg. So I see now where Gary was getting this idea that this would be a good fit for this figure. I'm not sold on the knee pads. I do think the boots work pretty good though. So I probably will keep that. I might just swap out those knees. And I have a bunch of these. They're not from Paladin. Most of them are from movie Electro, but I do have more of these like knee pads. It just fits the source material better than these. So I might swap those out. Belt can be pretty anything. It's just, yeah. And I'm gonna have to probably sculpt the torso anyways, so I'm just not sure if I like the baggy look for the pants. That's all. But we'll see. I want to see. There's a couple different arms that I was thinking about for Red Skull. The problem is my collection of arms is just absolutely ridiculous. Is that all? Yeah, those are legs. 2 bags of arms, but I have lots of legs. Okay, I'm just gonna move this over here. Yeah, that's fair. Gary said, in my mind, it was as close to as good of a base as I could think of. I think that's fair. The thing is there's not really a perfect base for this, you know? It's pretty unique. When I look at those arms, I immediately think of Maverick. But I think they'd be too big, to be honest. So we're gonna see. We're gonna break open our little tray here. I'm gonna move this out of the way, my Jeff Hardy pieces. Let's just put those up there. Let's move these over. Let's see what we got. Okay, so I'm trying to look at 2 different things. I'm looking at Punisher and I'm looking at Red Skull. What do we have? Some Sinister arms. Those are going to be too big. Oh, yeah. I'm going to start by trying to make this work. I may end up switching out the legs, but we'll see. And maybe the shoulders too. But the shoulders are, I guess I see why he did the shoulders, because they could just replace the shoulder pads. I have a couple of these. What do we got here? This would work, but the problem is these are the arms from that would work. These are the arms from Skull Crusher Deathlock. But he doesn't have 2 arms like that. It's only 1. Damn those 90s. Let's pull these out too and see what we got. Oops. Make a mess. Try not to hit my my camera looking at my fodder drawers here. This is another one that I was kind of looking at, was High Evolutionary. He has the right arms, but I'm worried that they might be too skinny. Like he's got they're pinless too. There you go. And like technically, I mean, if you're really going super close to detail, the line work on Red Skull, Face Off Red Skull is like more open. It's not so tight. But I think I could get away with this. And then he has the gloves, which he has here too, but I might just swap those out and sculpt something a bit different maybe. Legs I wouldn't be using here, but the arms would probably work. So that's an option too. I bought High Evolutionary just because he had lined arms and legs for fodder. That was the only reason why. Let's just see if there's any better choices here. Doom, Iron Man. More Iron Man. That's weird. That's in backwards. Yeah. I might pop these off and see how I like this. Is this a soft plastic? I think it is. Yes. Which means that those can just pop out with some heat. I want to see if I have the shoulder pads I'm thinking of. Punisher, I'm going to use these arms. So arms looks like I'm covered for now. Those are what I'm going to probably work with. Just put some of this stuff back, get it out of my hair. I want to see if I can find shoulder pads for that stuff. If I don't have shoulder pads that I think will work, I'll just use the shoulders that are on there because they do have them on it, but they're not really the style I'm looking for. Okay. Yeah, as you guys can see, I have way too much fodder. This is what happens when you customize for 8 years. You just have this never ending. I could probably build so many bucket cats with all this fodder. There we go. Yeah, that would work. Yes, it is a dough scraper. You caught me, Marcus. Good eye. It's my dough scraper, except it's one that's all botched. I use this for customizing. I use this to cut straight lines with green stuff. I use it to scoop up fodder parts. That is a good idea. Filling in some lines in High Evolutionary arms. Yep, that's a possibility. It may not bother me as much once I get some more detail on there. He has these like back pieces like here that might like help kind of like make me not notice it as much. And the thing is it's not like it really has to match anything down below, because really the only other place where you get those lines are like the knee pads, which like those lines are also pretty tight comparatively. And then like I'm gonna have to sculpt something into this to fit the look of the figure. So when I sculpt it, I'll just sculpt the lines tight. So should be okay. Okay, let's get those shoulder pads. That was the thing. If I can't find good shoulder pads, then I might have to stick with those shoulders. All right. What are we at? An hour and a half? Cool. I should still have time to do what I gotta do. These were the ones I was thinking about. I think they might be too big. But that being said, no, they're not. Gary, what do you think about those? Aesthetically, they work pretty well too. I like those. I think those are good. I think I have two. Yep. I have no idea what these are from, but I've had them forever. Cool. I like these. We're going to stick with these. Which means I'm going to get rid of those arms. I kind of do like this torso. I think I can make this work. I can sculpt the straps like that. Just do some line details, which looks like he already started, but I'll probably shave that off and just kind of start from scratch. I'm going to try to work with this. Swap out the knees, swap out the shoulders and the arms. The neck's already out, which is great. And I like the boots. Yeah, I think this is a pretty decent start, which is nice. Okay. I did bring my kettle in here with me, out of sight. But I'm going to turn that on and get some of this stuff soaking in some water so I can start tearing it apart. Punisher. What do I need from Punisher? Do I have anything in this box that I could use? I'm going to need some holsters. I'm going to have to sculpt the... So, Punisher's got these like skull-shaped knee pads that I'm going to have to sculpt. I don't really have anything like that. Boots. There's definitely options. I kind of like how the boots kind of look like oversized. I'm going to need a belt so I can put those grenade canisters. They're the teeth of the skull. But before I get that far, I should try to just find a base figure for it. I wish I had an extra 90s Havoc jacket because I feel like that would be good. Punisher. I'm just looking at how tall is Punisher 2099. Just gonna quickly do a little Google search here and see if I can. Punisher. Oops. That's another thing I usually do when I start working on stuff is I look at how tall they are so I can kind of get an idea of how 6'1". Okay, so he's probably somewhere around Bucky Cap to Spider-Man UK sized, which works for me. What do I have? So it's going to be a black base body. Yeah, that's not really what I'm looking for. Just trying to... What's that? Phil. Okay, let's do this. And let's switch this one over here. So yeah, so this one's a little tricky because his back and like the sides are going to be like shirt wrinkles, but the part where the Punisher logo is like musculature. So in this circumstance, I'm really not going to have a choice other than to sculpt. Here's a partial Guardian figure that I have. I could use that for the rest of the base. Just build onto that, which I think would work pretty good. It's the boots. I'm going to start there and see. Do I have any other? Let's see if I have any other Spider-Man UK base bodies here. Something that's like not white would be really good. That might be cool. Problem is this drawer is like getting so full that I can't close it anymore. It's starting to get there. I'm holding on to this Morbius because I want to use it to make a Ghost Rider one day. Someday. No, this is too short. I'm going to say maybe a long shot would work, but I think it's too short. I don't have anything else, I don't think. I guess I could. Vulcan might be too good. I mean, the nice thing with Vulcan is that he's got a good look to him. Maybe I'll just keep that out, just to toy with the idea. He is a little bigger, but I don't know if Nick would care. gosh. Let's find some guns and shit for him. Not some guns, some holsters. Pull out some holsters. So yeah, so here's my potential options at the moment. Grenade canisters covering his crotch, yeah. So these are my two current choices to play with here. Even that head might work. And I do have a lot of good options for like straps and belts and all that shit. Does he have like a pouch belt on? I can't really tell from the picture I'm looking at. Is that a belt with like pouches? Yes, it looks like it is. Okay. So we're going to need a pouch belt. We're going to need... I might switch out that belt for Red Skull. Something that's a bit more comic booky and less MCU-ish. These are all my straps for belts and whatnot. I think before I start dismantling, I'm going to get all my pieces together here. See, this one has the circle on it, like Red Skull Face Off has like that circle on the front of the belt. The X-Men one. That's a possibility. But still want it to be technical looking, tactical looking, but I don't know if I need it to be. Oh, this one's kind of cool too, but this one's cut as well. I mean, this one's got the circle, but it's missing the pouches, so I don't think I like that. So I can do the leg straps two ways. I have these holsters that aren't on straps that I can just glue on and then sculpt the strap in place, which I like. I've done similar in the past. If this Hercules belt was just a wee bit smaller, this would really work, but it's way too big. Here. Yeah, I think I'll probably go with these. I think I'll do these. Do I have another one of these? I think I should. I'd be surprised if I only had one for Punisher. Okay, that's one of those. Come on, there's gotta be another one. That's the hardest part about looking through fodder is like when it's not attached to stuff, it's sometimes not as obvious of what it is. And smaller things are always a fucker to find. I think I do have another set of those holsters that are on straps too. But oh, I kind of like this. I know it's not a circle, but I could put a circle on there. I'm gonna go with that. I like that better. They're a bit bigger. I think I'm gonna go with that. I hope I have another one of those holsters because that one looks like it would fit well. Ah, there's another one. Are they different? Different? Yes, perfect. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go with those for his holsters. There's his gun holsters for Punisher. And like I said, I'm going to swap out those arms for these ones with the bracers on them. I think I'm going to try to do it on Vulcan. I think Vulcan should look good. And I don't think he's terribly oversized. He is a little oversized. As long as Nick's okay with it, I'm going to do Vulcan. Because I think it'll work better. Even though I hate the pinless strings. I mean, I love how they look. I just hate. Jordan says, back. Sorry, I had to take care of something. Oh, don't apologize, man. Thanks for coming back. Okay, so I've got those Red Skull arms. I'm going to use High Evolutionary and sculpt something on the wrists. And then I'll have to find some hands for him because I don't really like those open hands. I don't think those make sense. Gary, do you have any thoughts on hand options? Are you looking for like weapon holding hands? I'm assuming. Do you want fists? What do you want? We'll get there next. So got that. Do I need anything else on Red Skull? That. I'll have to do some sculpting on the wrists, which is fine. Punisher, I got those. So the next thing for Punisher will be I didn't get him a belt, so I need to get him a belt with them. Which again, this would work just fine too. I don't know if I have two of these, but I mean, if I don't, it's no big deal. I can just use one of these X-Men ones. That'd be good. Okay, Punisher belt and things are good. The knee pads I will build later. I'm not going to try to find anything because I'm not going to be able to. It's pretty unique to him. So the boots on Punisher is what I'm interested in, trying to see if I can find something better. I really like how they look like oversized. They almost look like jumbo style. See, these are the times where I wish I had a 3D printer. Where is our friend Charlie? Charlie is hard at work making 1/12 scale dildos for me. He's making a bunch of props, but of those bunch of props, there's a bunch of dildos. I'm pretty excited about it. Even though I have no idea what I would use them for, I just think it's funny. I just can't wait to make a thumbnail using a whole bunch of 1/12 scale dildos. I think everyone's gonna really like that. Peggy Zero Dad says fists and angry hands would do me fine. Maybe one gun hand. Okay, cool. I have an idea. Okay, so those are done. Next up, let's look for. Let's just do hands because that's easy. Big old bag of hands here. Looks like we're going to use this High Evolutionary, so let's get rid of these. Let's give them something nicer here. That out. That out. We'll give him one right-handed gun hand. And I really would like to do some like clenching hands would be cool. Yeah, like this. I'll give him one clenching hand and a gun hand. Oh, I'm not on the right thing. Oh, my overhead camera died. What a fucking shock. I have to say, I bought this ZV-1 camera because the picture on it is fantastic, but this fucking thing doesn't even last an hour. It's really annoying. And it's a $1,000 camera. I'm not super impressed if I'm really being honest. There we go. 1/12 scale naughty bits. That's right. So yeah, so where was I just saying? Yes, this I found this like clenched hand. So maybe I'll give him two fists, a clenched hand on one side and a gun hand on the other. That being said, got for blue hands? Let's see. It doesn't have to be blue, but if I can find something that's blue, I will use it. Because it would make sense. Is this got a sculpt line on it? Looks like it does, yeah. Fist. Fist, Wolverine fists. Watch it, bub. I could just sign these off, though. Okay, here's some fists. Let's just see how they look. Come off. Not without a heat. How's that look? Yeah, that looks great. This one looks like it's slightly bigger. Might just be color, but I'm going to use it. Oh, there we go. So we got some fists for Red Skull. And we've got, oh, this isn't the right one. I want to give his right hand a gun hand. And his left hand this gripping hand. So that way if he wants to give him like a cosmic cube or something, he could. And then, do I have a right? I'd love to get, I do actually. I have see, this is where this comes in handy. I just bought this Dormammu for $12. And for some reason, Dormammu comes with a trigger hand. Not sure why, but he does. But this can go onto here, and then he can have up and down hinge for the gun rather than in and out, which I prefer. All right. I dig it. Okay, so there's some hands. Got hands for him. Punisher is going to need 2 up and down triggers. Do I have another one of these screens somewhere? Or did I use it for something else? The problem is I never remember what I use shit for. Ooh, I forgot I have 2 trigger hands and fists from Bonebreaker, which I use for Punisher. Look at that. La-di-da. Just like that. Here's that other fist. Here it is. Okay. Fists for Punisher and for Red Skull. Done. Give him jazz hands. Now that jazz. There's a lot of great hand sculpts. I love expressive hands for Marvel Legends. A lot of good options. Okay, so Red Skull, I got that. I got knees. I'm gonna need to dig out another pair of those knees. Actually, no, I don't really need another pair because I'm not going to use them on Punisher. I'm just going to use regular legs on Punisher. Just sculpt them on. Okay, I think that's good for hands. Any customizers out there ever hold on to fodder like that they just never want to use because they're like, one day the right thing is going to come up and I'm going to use it. But then you just sit on it forever waiting, even though there's times where it would work and you're just like, no, I'm going to hold out. That's happened to me with a few things. I just saw, did I already put it away? I just saw the open clear purple hands from Black Magneto, and it made me think of that. I kind of held on to those for a long time, so I'm like, maybe one day I'm going to need something like purpley pink to use like a clear hand for So right now there's only one in this fodder because I put the other one on my bishop figure in my display. But now I can't get rid of that because I like that. I like it on that bishop. So I guess technically I did find a use for it. Ultimately was permanent. So I think ever since I put it on there, I haven't taken it off. So. All right, good to go. I dropped a fist and some Wolverine claws. Okay. And then I'm still going to piece this together, guys. So we're probably still going to be another 30 minutes. I'm thinking. If you guys can stick around. Let me just catch up on chat here. Jordan from Canada said, "Did you catch that Matchu toy Black Panther vs. Cap stop motion? It was incredible IG reel. I think that guy needs to seriously get into making movies." Yeah, so he's a videographer. So yeah, he does make movies. That's one of his jobs. So it makes sense why it's all so good. He's extremely talented. And that if you guys haven't seen that Black Panther vs. Cap motion capture stop motion, it's fucking really, really amazing. Dormammu gets those hands because he stays strapped. always packing heat. Yeah, just a figure made entirely of hands and heads. I have 3 bags of male heads. What are we going to use for it? I to be honest with you, like I didn't intentionally do this, but I actually think that this Vulcan head makes for a pretty nice looking Punisher, if I'm being honest. Like not the hair, I'll have to get rid of the hair, but resculpt that. But like he's got like that squared off jaw. To be honest, I actually think that head works really fucking good. I just realized that this is upside down. I'll just quickly fix this here. Sorry for the shakes, guys. My apologies. Oops. Stay. This is not really set up to stay up here, but come on. There we go. So yeah, so I can get rid of these. For Punisher, and I guess I can keep the fist because, and I'll put the green fist back. There we go. Oops. Where did I just drop those hands? There. All right. So next up, we have the boots for Punisher. So I'm not a super huge fan of just these regular boots for him. So let's see if we can find something more tactical looking. So these are just boots. See if there's anything in here that will work. So my mind immediately actually went to, where did they go? Did I not take them apart? My mind immediately went to the boots from Crossbones. Because they're big, but I think they'll be too out of scale. But I wanted them to kind of look slightly oversized. And I also wonder if I still have another pair of feet from Ghost Rider. I used my one set on that Brave Star figure I made. But I think they'd work really well on Punisher because he has kind of like those metal tipped. There's some feet. These boots don't have what I want. So Red Skull is good. I like the boots that Gary sent me. But these aren't, none of these are doing what I need them to do for me. I do kind of like these, but they're just not accurate to the source, so I'm gonna pass on them. Those are the Falcon Cap, comic book Falcon Cap boots. They're a little short too. These I do like. Like I said, I don't care. I want them to be slightly oversized, but I think these just might be a bit too much. He's gonna end up looking like he's got massive feet. I may end up just having to sculpt the boots on Punisher. Doom feet for Punisher? Yeah, that's pretty good. If I don't have another pair of, what's it called? If I have the Ghost Rider feet, then those would be perfect. Yeah, because I have. Oops. That. Sorry, I'm just trying to. And I hate my computer. There we go. Yeah, fuck off. Where are you going? So yeah, so for Punisher, he's got like these kind of like super pointies. I also have more Ghost Rider legs in a bin, so I'll look for those as well. I mean, I guess technically, like suit body feet would work too, but probably be a bit too small. These casts, I don't know. Do I have another Ghost Rider legs that have feet attached to them still? Did I peel them all off? It's definitely possible that I used them already. I wouldn't be surprised. I do have another set of Punisher feet in here, or Ghost Rider legs in here, but they don't have the Star-Lord feet. They have the Ghost Rider ones, which are like locked off on the edge, not pointy. Yeah, I may end up having to sculpt those. Like I said, I try to use existing stuff where I can, but I also don't want to spend a stupid amount of money just for the right pieces, right? Like for something like that, it's easy enough to sculpt. I'll just sculpt it, like the boots. I want to just quickly see. I found those crossbone legs. Yeah, boots. I just want to see how they look. I want something that ideally is like a little bigger than, like I want them to almost look like slouch socks, like right out of the fucking 70s. There it is. Yeah, so I like these boots, but the problem is using something like that would give him tons of extra height, and he's already too tall, so it's not gonna work. The other one that I like is the movie Magneto feet or legs, but I think they would be too small. And I do have a pair of those somewhere. Maybe I'll pull them off and just have a quick look, see if it's possible to make them work. They're in this bag. Here's the problem with having too much fodder is you're like, don't I have that? I swear I have that. Looking through plastics also not really that helpful either. I am almost certain that I have a pair of Magneto movie Magneto legs. I could get rid of the pouch, but that is a really good idea. Marcus E says, could the long shot boots work? And yeah, they could. Here's the Magneto legs that I have. Do they work? I like those because the boot is exactly kind of what I'm looking for. But again, a little bit too tall. I think I'm going to be better off sculpting them. And what I'll do is I'll shave down. Oh, maybe. What if I just swapped those parts out entirely? We're going to try something. We're going to try that and see if that works. I don't mind these boots. Okay, we're going to try that. We'll take that out. Okay, we're going to start piecing some shit together here in a couple minutes. Okay. I am going to quickly check those long shots ones too. That's a pretty good idea, Marcus. My concern is that they're going to be too skinny. The pouch is easy. I can just shave the pouch off. Yes, Doom feet. Yeah, I'm going to pull my Doom. I have a white Doom out. Let me see if I can. Yeah, those. See, that is like pretty much what I'm looking for. I mean, we won't know it until we put it on and try. So why don't we do that? We'll just see how it looks. Okay. And what was I just going to grab? I was going to grab a white Dr. Doom. White Doom. I mean, those do look good. They're a bit more armored than I'd like them to be, I think, but yeah, I forgot this figure came like all like filmed with shit. Like, you know what? I don't know if these would work. These are a bit too like knights. If they just had the one tip, I would be okay with it, but they're like armored, so I don't think these are going to do what I need them to do. Anybody else get this figure and it's all like chalky? Really, it leaves like gross residue. I don't like that. Back in the bag you go. Get out of here. Get out of here. Okay. Let's see what we got. Let's hit that kettle one more time, and we'll start building. Marcus, I like your idea for a long shot. We're going to see if that works. They do look good. So I think we'll try the long shot boot first. Boot-wise, they're pretty sizable. Actually, they're a bit shorter, which would work great because then it would take away a little bit of that height that I'm not loving. We're going to swap out these arms. We're going to swap out the belts. This is another option. I could just switch that whole lower leg because then it would be about, no, then he would still be a little taller. Yeah, it'd still be, that'd give him a bit of height. Let's hope these long shot ones work. Because that does work pretty fucking perfect. And then, so we got these. I think I like this belt better for him. I was going to put the circle on Red Skull anyways. I still need to make it bigger because this isn't too big. This isn't big enough. This will go here. I kind of do like these legs, but I don't like these knee pads. So we're going to swap those out with Paladin. And I do like the boots. I don't care if these arms don't really do it for me. But we're going to use these. Let's just pop some of these unnecessary pieces off and I'll put them away. Once they kind of break them down, I just am like, all right, let's just get rid of them. what's left here. I got to repaint this Chris Jericho head. I gave him a little bit of a beard on the side, some heavy chops. And I got to repaint it. This is like Mattel pre-face scanning or face printing. So if I'm going to put him with my Ultimates, I got Ultimate Shawn Michaels, another one in, so I could take the torso off of it and put it on a Chris Jericho that I bought. I'm going to do next week. So next week, I'm going to focus. It's going to be all WWE. I actually kind of decided I wanted to do that so that way I could make a thumbnail that has Deadpool going through some tables and stuff like that. Like that's the biggest part of why I did what I did was so that way I could take advantage of Deadpool being Deadpool. Cloth here. My wife dropped this mug that I use, and it's got a big crack, so now it just leaks everywhere. But it's just water, so I don't really care. Let's just put this towel down. It'll make my life a little easier. Let's start with those boots. Let's start with that. There's my knife. I'm going to probably need that as well. Where is my knife? Where's my good knife? I stabbed myself with it today, so I know it's around here somewhere. Oh, I threw it over here. Of course I did. All right, so I'll let that just chill in that water for a minute. So this is just boiled water, guys, in a cup. Nothing crazy. Yeah, this long shot paper is so cool. Big fan. Pull those off. Oh, shit. There we go. I'm actually going to just pull these legs off too. The nice thing about this new Vulcan body is he's got the soft upper thighs, so you can just pop them out. Pop that belt off. And this one on. That's cool. All right, let's see how this works. I love breaking apart figures for the first time. Ooh, those peg holes are very different. Hopefully this will work. Oh, it does. Oh, those look great. I don't know, though. They might be too skinny. Tight. It's a close call. What do you guys think? I think they're too skinny. They do look great. They're just, I mean, I guess I could just put a flare on them a bit more. I like that they take the height down a touch, which is nice. Not much, but it's a bit. And then I mean, they're really loose, but I can fix that eventually. Yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, I don't know. I do like it, but I think they're too skinny. We'll sidebar it for now. Okay, we'll put that guy back in. We're gonna pop these off. I'm gonna actually just take the whole arm. Prefer to use the non-pinless joints. They're a lot easier to work with prep-wise. And then I gotta pop those knees out of him. Okay, let's just move this over for now. Fuck, I really like those boots. You think it works, Jordan? Jordan says, would you ever sell a Skillshare course on customization? Could potentially be some really good passive income. I think my biggest worry about that would be that I'd be worried that people don't see the value in it. But I mean, I wouldn't be against it. You know, I mean, the thing is like you can ask. I mean, even Marcus, like Marcus reaches out to me when he has stuff kind of on the bench when he's hits a wall. I like talking shop, so it's really easy for me to just like be on board with that, you know? Like if someone messages me and is like, how do I do this? Very, very rare for me to be like, figure it out yourself. And by rare, I mean I've never said that. But that works. Nice. So this works. I mean, I could build these up. It's really only skinny at the top. You know what I mean? Like I could build that up. I could shave those off. I could build that up a bit, and it would work. I'm gonna think about that. I'm gonna leave it for now, but okay, he's going in. Let's pop these out. This is just a nail press. Heat those up. Pop those pegs. Let's put these back so we don't lose pegs. You guys remember what I taught you guys about how to know which side is which? Aside from them saying left and right on the pieces, if you can't find that, the pegs have two sizes. There's a small end and there's a fat head. The fat head always goes on the inside of the body. So fat hole, so you can see the hole's bigger on that side versus this side, right? Watch. See the difference? Big, small hole. That's how you can tell the difference. Same with the arms. Outside of the arms have the small hole. Inside has the big hole. Okay. Let's pull this out. Showing some ankle like the Victorians. Yeah. That's how he rolls, baby. He's bringing it back in 2099. All right, let's pop these pegs out. A cat. My water might be getting too warm, like not starting to cool down a bit. Yeah, so I might have to reheat some water. I did bring a jug to pour this into, but meanwhile, let's start. Where did that one? So, look at this. Pour that over there. Whew. All right. You're always helpful whenever I'm working on a project or planning, for sure. If you send him feet pics, you get better advice. I love it. I don't know what Skillshare is. YouTuber Ali Abdal says one of the highest streams of income comes from a Skillshare course on editing YouTube videos. Pretty nice. Yeah, I do definitely think that it makes sense for certain things. I feel like customizing is one of those things that's just pretty it's pretty like hands-on. It's hard to be able to walk people through shit when I'm not right there with them, you know? Drop. And while we're there, let's just skip that. There we go. Yeah, I think it's tricky to. I mean, again, if someone reached out and was like, "Hey, I'll pay you if you teach me how to do this," I would not say no. but yeah, I don't know. I always worry, like, even with the stream, even with this stream, like I always worry that like you guys are like not getting something from it, or I'm weird. My self confidence is not great, regardless of what it might come across as. But thanks, man. I feel you're interesting. I appreciate that. Okay, almost finished up here, guys. A couple more things to do. Let's pull this guy out. Let's get the rest of these pegs out. I'm not going to pull both leg pegs out until I know that these knees fit in well enough that it's worth it. Like, if they really don't fit and they're going to need heavy knotting, it's just easy to just sculpt my own. But let's get those needle noses in there. I don't know which one's which, so gotta pull both of those out. These ones say right on it, right and left. This one says right. I'm using left. This says up. Oh, that works every time. I love it when a plan comes together. Cool. That works really, really nicely. Oh, it's not as. Oh, yeah, that's still nice. There is a little gap down here, but I don't think it's better if I have to. I really don't like it. There we go. And can I pull these off too? Let's see here. So far, I like this as is. So got that 1, 2. Put that in. 1. It's like I said, with the details on the pants, I can sculpt whatever's missing. But I think this will work pretty nicely. Okay, those go back on. I think these are actually meant for this body. Yeah, there we go. Go on. There you go. There you go. Ooh, I do not want to go on to either. Cool. Nice. I'm going to cut those shoulders out now and take these out because I only put them in case I had to put this back together. There we go. So, can I just pop these out? That's the question. Let's find out. Ooh, I need to use this because I can't get a grip on the shoulders of 2. So yeah, so I can pull that off easy, but try to pull the actual shoulder out is a little bit more tricky. Nice. I'm going to cut those shoulders out real quick. Let's see if I can actually get these gloves off too. So I'm going to sculpt my gloves. Unless, oh, this is actually a solid piece, not an overlay. Never mind. I'm leaving those on. I'll sculpt over them. Okay. Good. That's good. And the only thing I'm going to still need to find is like some coat of overlay of some sort for Punisher. I guess I could just sculpt it. I'm going to leave these boots for now, I think. At least for now. Got its gun hands. There we go. Cool. That's going to be a cool puncher. Yeah, fuck yeah, it is. When the pieces fit perfectly, that's free therapy right there. Marcus says, how do you pull or push pieces out with the pliers or the press without damaging the pieces? Sometimes you can damage the pegs when you use them pressed, but because I always end up sculpting over them, I don't really care. Honestly, if you get them really warmed up, they should be able to come out with a bit more ease. I'm just a little careless, so shouldn't have to worry too much about damaging the pegs. The pliers that I use they're smooth. They don't have any grip to them. So I use those cautiously on stuff like this, and it won't leave a mark. Or at least I haven't had an issue where it left a mark yet. So, okay, we're going to cut these shoulders out, or at least one of them, just to see how it's looking here. Do that. And all I'm doing is cutting the peg on one side of the shoulder. And then from there, just using my press to push it out. Okay, so I can already tell you that this is not going to be what I need. It's not going to do what I need it to do, I don't think. I might have to just crack that torso. Swap out those pegs. Okay. I mean, the thing is like the arms will work, like size-wise. I know they'll work. But I don't know. Let's just see. What's this one? Let me just pop one apart and just see. We'll just see. What about Dormammu overlay with the midsection? Are you talking about like the shoulder pads and stuff? I don't know if that would work for what I'm looking for. Like it kind of looks like he has like a jacket that's open with like a belt around it. It really reminds me of 90s Havoc from X Factor. Like really, that's pretty perfect. It has the collars and everything. The only thing I don't like about it is it really restricts movement in the torso, and I'd rather avoid that if I can. John from Canada says, "You're the man, dude. If anyone says different, I'll give them a wedgie. Send them your way." But thank you. You guys are the best. All right, we're getting close here, guys. Let's just see how this performs. If I don't have to crack the torso, I always prefer to not if I don't have to. But I feel like I might have to with this one. Nice and careful. I don't want to cut my finger. Mm-hmm. Let's just see. I feel like it's not. Put those back in for just a minute. I will cut this out because at the very least, I'm not going to probably use these. So. I do like this base so far. I think this will work pretty good. So you can see the spot I was talking about. Oh, no, you can't because I'm on that. You can see the spot I'm talking about here. See how there's like too much too much of the joint showing? I'll have to fill that in because it's going to drive me crazy because then his legs will go, woo! I don't really love that. Can't have any of that. Kind of reminds me of Lightning Collection vests, like the Green Ranger Dragon Shield. I do have a Green Ranger Dragon Shield, but I'm not sure if that's really what I'm looking for. Like what I see when I see this is I see like looking at another picture here. Like I kind of see like here's the lapel of the jacket, and then here's like the bigger flap that's just kind of spread open, and then you can see that it's like fabric wrinkles on the sides and around the back. I have to find some cool like futury guns for him. Legs off Red Skull next week on WIP Wednesday. While I throw him through a table. Gotta keep that wrestling theme, baby. Let's see what I got. Did I cut all the way through? It appears I did. But maybe I did. Yeah, these are completely different from what he's got going on. I might have to just pop that. I'd like to just see how it looks. I can always fill in. Like the good thing is it's the opposite of the usual. Like it's easier to fill in a bigger hole than to make the hole bigger. You know what I mean? Like I can fill in this so it sits better. It's hard to get this out when the actual whole shoulder pops out. Like usually I use the figure and anchor it against the figure to. I can see it's still attached, which is creating a problem. I need this water to be hotter. Which is creating the problem for me. It's not hot enough. I'm having a hard time cutting through. There we go. Oh, this might actually work after all. See, I kind of made a mess. It's going to be difficult for me to fit that new arm onto the shoulder because it's not a clean cut. So I gotta trim all the edges off. Like this doesn't need to be perfect right now. I just need to know if it works. If it works, then we're in the money. Voila. I need this to sit nicer though. There we go. Cool. That's better. Let's see if I can. That one is way cleaner. Much better. Much, much better. I'm glad this figure came in handy so quickly. Come on. Come on. Oh, I just realized. Can you guys still hear me okay? I just realized my microphone is like pointing completely the other way. Ah, come on. I need fresh water. Get this. Let's get rid of this. Oh shit, I just poured it all over the floor. I don't have carpet. Okay, we're gonna put those back in because I can't. Ooh, it's really windy outside. Is it raining? Oh, it is raining. Shit, I'm supposed to go for a walk tonight. Audio's still good. Awesome. Great. Jerome from Canada says, have you ever created an original character for a custom, perhaps in the vein of Unparallel's ODS or Toying Around's Monkey King? No. I've done original characters of other people's before. I did a D&D character for somebody last year or the year before, and I did a Power Ranger, like a green and white Ranger mixed before as well. So the closest thing I've done was I did a concept of my own device. I made up a costume for X-23 as if she was part of the 90s team of X-Men. So I did that. That's about as close as I get. So sounds still good. Obviously, thanks, guys. Marcus says, loving how this figure's coming together. Cool, man. I'm glad you dig it. Yeah, I think this is going to work out good. Let's try to get this shit off. Fuck off the torso, you fucker. I feel like it's still just not cut through. But it feels like it's off. Like it feels like it's coming off. There we go. Even if I, ooh, hot. Even if I have to fucking rip it off, get the fuck out of there. Ooh, buddy, I botched this one real good. But that's okay. Get the fuck up. Peace. I can hear my dog just wandering around out there, like, Dad, come out. I want you to put me back to bed. There we go. All right. That's my start. I think that's going to be my base for Red Skull. Cool. I dig it. Oh, I didn't put his belt on him. That might not fit, but I might have to clean it up before it will fit. Plus these, I usually just use, I'm going to kick this guy off. This guy. Let's take some of the stick tack. Stick her down. This is just where I can kind of get a feel for how it's all put together. Oops. Might have to shave down the pegs a little bit first. Looks like they're maybe just a hair too thick on the shoulders. They're not closing all the way, which is fine and easy enough. All right, so I got that. One of these is higher up, Gary, because I did Dremel the inside of this one out, but this one I didn't yet. So, and then we'll just put a little piece of stick tack at the bottom of this. That. Yeah, and then with the belt, and then yeah, I think that's a pretty good start. What do you think? Everyone's saying hi to Homer. Ooh, those feel really tight for some reason. Hey Gary, were those the boots that were on this figure? They are, right? Let's just see what we can do with this. Is this bendy enough yet? Yeah, probably. All right, let's put this on. Oh, upside down. I don't want it to be upside down. It'd be better if I could do. Let's stretch it out a bit. Put it in there. Take those off. Okay. Let that sit for a quick second. Become a slot show of a show here, guys. Ooh. Something else. That's fine. All right, we're almost done. So I'm not gonna worry. Yeah, stick pack's great. Oh, it's not even getting what I need it to get. I'm trying to get this so I can take the thighs off to put the belt on, and it's not even fucking close. So it's sticking out of the water. What I might do for his kind of open coat is I might do one of those Nick Fury trench coats and then like trim it. So I'll trim it to go like basically up to here, and then it'll go just up to the belt. And then that way I can leave it on this so you still get the ab crunch. That's probably what I'll do. I really do like these boots. I think they're going to work. I think if I can shave off some of down here, like kind of taper down at the bottom where boot connects, and then I'll shave this off the pocket, and then I'll build up the sides a little higher so it kind of goes closer to the knee. It does look like it's supposed to go. Cool. Okay, let me just get this belt on and then we'll call it a night. God, there's so much. It's hard to do. Fuck me. All right. You guys all having a good New Year so far? Everything funky dory and going as it should. Take these off here. Pop one of these legs off. Hopefully it's not too difficult. There we go. And then this is also doubles as like a stretcher. Stretch it over. This soft plastic is pretty forgiving when it's warmed up. There we go. And then leg back on, and we be laughing. There we go. Fucking A. So there is the start of our face-off Red Skull. Haha! I like it. All right, guys. Marcus, what are you working on now? What do you got going on this time? I'm gonna just flip this camera back. Whoop, whoop, whoop. All right. Look, I want to clean all this up. Look at this room now. Shit everywhere. What a mess. All right, carefully. All right, guys. Time for my end of stream spiel. But before I do, Jordan says, I just feel really good about 2023 in general. Lots of amazing toys and video games coming out this year. Yeah, I had a not that good 2022. I was like in a big rut, not customized, just work and everything and all that shit. So I'm hopeful that this year will be better. Fingers crossed. Glad you dig the shirt and happy to do it, Gary. We'll talk about a price eventually, but you sent me some parts. I usually don't do that either, but we'll talk. I'll take care of you. We'll figure something out that works for your budget and for me. We'll find a good common ground. Marcus says, still working on Wildcat. I sent my brother a list of supplies that he could help me out buying as an early birthday gift. Oh, that's a great idea. We got beef. We got beef with 2022. Yeah, true that. Okay, guys. Thank you as always for being here. Sorry we went so long tonight, but yeah, there was lots to do. So hopefully you found this somewhat interesting. Yeah, next week we're gonna do WWF figures. So even if you're not a WWF fan, you will be better off. You'll be able to see me do some techniques, like I'll be cracking some torsos, reassembling stuff. I'll go over the dyeing process because I did a bunch of dyeing with this stuff. But yeah, I have Jeff Hardy, Matt Hardy, Owen Hart, Chris Jericho to work on. So yeah, there's a lot to do. And then yeah, if you guys have any ideas for topics like this, like more themed, drop me a DM and let me know what you think, because I would be happy to hear it. And if there's value in doing it and people and if there's value in doing it and you guys are into it, then we'll fit it in the schedule somewhere. But like I said, I have a bunch of guests lined up, just finalizing it. I'm kind of waiting on one pair of guests, I guess we'll say, and then once they lock down, I'll get the date with Brock locked down. I also have a couple other ones, like I said, Astonishing News and Reviews. Both Alvin and Dee are going to come on, and then I'm talking to Token Customs. I'm talking to Toy Farce. So yeah, I've got a lot of people in the mix that I'm keeping the next guest as a secret because I think it'll be fun, at least until the week of. But yeah, thanks, guys. Next episode, Cracking with Matchu. Yep. Torso Cracks by Matchu. So yeah, stick around for more. But yeah, thank you guys very much for being here. I appreciate you all very, very much. And I hope you guys have a safe and a good week. And we will talk soon. Peace out.